where the Pecos River winds and turns its journey to the sea. From its white walls of sand and rocks driving ever to be free, near the highest railroad bridge that all these modern times have seen, dwells fair young Patty Moorhead, the Pecos River Queen. She's known by all the cowboys on the Pecos River wide. They know full well that she can shoot, she can rope and ride. She goes to every roundup, every cow work without fail, looking out for all her cattle branded, walking hog on rail. She made her start in cattle, she made it with her rope. She can tie down any maverick, for it can strike a lope. She can rope and tie and brand as quick as any man. She's voted by all the cowboys as an A1 top cow hand. Oh, across the Comstock Railroad Bridge, the highest in the West, Patty rode her horse one day, a lover's heart to test. For he told her he would gladly risk all dangers for her sake, but the puncher wouldn't follow, she's still without a mate. Where the Pecos River winds and turns its journey to the sea, from its white walls of sand and rocks driving ever to be free, near the highest railroad bridge that all these modern times have seen, dwells fair young Patty Moorhead, the Pecos River Queen. We was camped out on the plains at the head of the Cimarron. Along come a stranger and he stopped to argue some. He looked so very foolish and began to look around. We thought he was a greenhorn, just escaped from town. We'd asked if he'd had breakfast and he had not had a sniff. He opened up the chuck box and told him help yourself. He took a little beefsteak, a biscuit and some beans, and he then begun to talk about the foreign kings and queens. He talked about the Spanish War and fighting on the sea, with guns as big as beef steers and ramrods big as trees. And he talked about old Paul Jones, a fighting son of a gun, and he said he was the grittiest cuss that ever pulled a gun. Such an educated feller, his thoughts just come in herds. He astonished all us punchers with his jaw-breaking words. He just kept right on talking till he made the boys all sick, and we began to look around for how to play a trick. He said he lost his job out upon the Santa Fe, and he was going across the plains to strike the 7D. But he didn't say how come, it just some trouble with his boss. He said he'd like to borrow a nice fat saddle horse. This tickled all the boys to death. We laughed down in their sleeves. Said that he could have a horse as fresh as he would please. So Shorty grabbed the lasso and he roped the zebra dun, and led him to the stranger as we waited for the fun. Now old Dunny was an outlaw, he had grown so awful wild. He could paw the white out of the moon every jump for a mile. And he always stood right still, just like he didn't know, until he was saddled and ready for the go. Now the stranger hit the saddle and old Dunny quit the earth. He went straight up in the air for all that he was worth, a bawling and a squalling and having a walleye fit, with his hind feet perpendicular and his front ones in the bit. Now we could see the tops of trees beneath him every jump. The stranger, he was growed there just like a camel's hump, and he sat up there upon him and he curled his black mustache just like a summer boarder, a-waiting for his hash. Now he thumped him in the shoulders and he squared him when he whirled. He showed us flunky punchers, he's the wolf of this old world. And when he had dismounted once again upon the ground, why, we knew he was a thoroughbred and not a gent from town. Now the boss, he was a-standing and a-watching all the show. He walks right up to him and he asked him not to go. If you can use the lasso like you rode the zebra dun, then you're the man I've looked for ever since the year of one. Well, he could use a lasso and he didn't do it slow. The cattle they stampeded, he was always on the go. A one thing and a sure thing that I learned since I was born: every educated feller, he ain't a plum greenhorn.